Hi, Connie from the Painted Photographer here. I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna go live on YouTube. That's crazy. So I'm gonna paint a snowman. Do you wanna paint a snowman? I'm not sure how I know when I'm live and if anybody can see me. I'm trying to find myself on my iPad. So maybe that will help me. It's kind of cool. So I had told you I wanted to show you how to paint a snowman. So I have two different snowmen here. I'm going to teach you how to paint these live right here on YouTube. So I'm going to quickly go through a few Christmas items I have on my website. I have these two star-shaped snowmen. I thrifted them, 38 cents a piece. And I have to look at my notes. They are $3 on my website. It's at thepaintedphotographer.com, and you can go to that link and purchase them there. It's under my thrifted items. So these are a couple little stars. I have a fat little cardinal. Look at him. He is super sweet. He's made out of resin. He was 48 cents at the thrift store, and he is, where is my fat cardinal? He's $4 on my website. As soon as we get through a few of these items, then we're gonna paint. Are you ready to paint? Then I have two of these cardinal ornaments. They were 48 cents at my thrift store, and they are $6 each on my website. They're really cool. This ball right here is silver. If you don't pick them up, I think I might paint them. I have a sparkly tree, and it's a wire tree filled with sparkle with a star on the top. It was, oh, what did I pay for this? I don't know what I have this listed for. Let me check my other page. Oh, I paid 38 cents for it. It is on my website for $6. It is a fun tree. These are pretty cool right now. You can just put them in your home decor. Trees are in, especially green sparkly ones. This little guy was 68 cents. He's got a name on the bottom. Let's grab some glasses. He is Wanko Studio by Brett Anderson. Anyway, he is a woodland little snowman, and he's made out of resin. He's got a little birdhouse with a bird on top, which I really, really liked him. He was 68 cents. He is my snowman, or my Santa. He's $6 on my website. If you like him, go pick him up. He's hiding a little bag of coal or a little bag of bird seed back there. And he's just super cute. And then I got a couple salt and pepper shakers. So here's my vintage snowman salt and pepper shakers. These are all on my website, and the vintage ones, and these are, gotta flip my page. I don't have them listed. They're either $6 or $7. Anyway, here's a modern pair of snowman salt and pepper shakers. Here's the vintage pair. The only thing is this modern pair, one of them is missing a plug on the bottom. And then I have this, like, I don't know what you call this, kind of pottery looking snowman salt and pepper shakers. They were 38 cents. These are $7. And then I have Santa. salt and pepper shakers. They were 38 cents. Also, all the rest of them have their little bottoms on them, and those are $8 for these. So that's all the Christmas stuff I have. So I thought I'd show you real quick because I want to show you how I paint this snowman and this snowman. Now I have to go to the other side of the table, so give me 2 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna have to flip you down. And we're going to get started on our snowman. Hopefully this is a good angle for you. I'm gonna try and get you lined up a little bit better. You can see that basket full of salt and pepper shakers. That's kind of cute. All right, we're gonna use all DIY paint today, and I'm just using it's just a scrap board. And these are the 2 snowmen that we're going to create today. All you're gonna do is just paint or draw a C, a sideways C, and then you're gonna draw in the scarf area. So just another little oval, and then make his body. And then I like to kind of draw his hat in here so I know where I'm going. You can't really see that on the charcoal, but you will see it. Then we're gonna do this one on this board. So again, making his head, you can just make a simple little hat shape, kind of like a stick person, and then give him a nice size body. All right, that's it. Pretty simple. Now we're gonna go in with faded burlap. I have DIY paint, and this is faded burlap. We want the snowman to have some depth to it. So that's why we go in with a sand color. And then you're just gonna go in and paint the sand color. Paint the whole head of the snowman. And the whole body. Now what you want to do when you're painting this body, because you're going to kind of see your brush strokes, especially where your paint is ridged, you want to go right back over that, and it makes like a ridge right there. You don't want this snowball to be on top. You want the head snowball to be on top. Making sure I get in here so you can see it really well. This is faded burlap. It's kind of a sand brown color. This one is wearing a big old scarf, so we gotta leave room for this scarf. These go fairly quickly. Got a little chunk of paint in there. And his body is down here, remembering that that snowball will kind of hit his neck a little bit. If you want a nice line on the edges, you can go ahead and I always told my kids it's like giving your paintbrush a headache. So if you put some paint on your brush, don't be afraid to get paint on your brush, and then push down, you'll make a nice flat line with your brush versus a Like when we don't hit very hard, when we're being very loose, you'll make just ruffled edges right there. But when you give your brush a headache, you'll actually make a solid line right there. So that's the first color that we're gonna go in with. Now we're going to go in with some white swan. And when you're using DIY paint, you do not want to dip your brush into the paint container itself. You want to make sure that you take your paint out of the container because there's no preservatives in this DIY paint. So you want to make sure that you're not contaminating it. I teach live on my Facebook page all the time, but I've never taught live on YouTube. So hopefully this is going okay. I'm going to clean off my brush just on a baby wipe, getting rid of some of that faded burlap. I didn't wash it out completely because I don't want it soppy wet. Now I'm going to go into the white swan, hitting one side of this snowman with a heavy line, giving my paintbrush a headache, and fading it into the other side of that snowball. What that does is it gives that snowball a little bit of depth. One side is light, give your brush a headache, and then don't give your brush a headache on the other side. And you can see it kind of feathers that side in a little bit, and it giving your brush a headache on that side makes a nice straight line. With the DIY paint, it dries fairly quickly, but it doesn't have to be totally dry. Because some of that faded burlap is like mixing into there, blending in, and I like it. Gives that snowman a lot of depth. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of light blue. I'm going to grab that quickly. I have a little bit of prom queen here. Prom queen is just going to give you that little bit of sky look in your snowman. So we're going to just bring a little bit of that blue and a little bit of that white right into that snowball. Little blue and a little white. You can see that little bit of blue over there and then some white. This one does not have the blue. We'll add a little bit of blue. And just a touch more of blue down here. And a little white. Okay, that completes the white of our snowman. This goes fairly quickly. Now I'm going to go in and do the black hats. We are using Little Black Dress, and I'm going to again remove the paint from the container, even though I'm almost out of Little Black Dress. I'm really scraping the bottom here. I'm going to use a little bit of a smaller brush. This is an angled brush. If you have any questions, drop me a comment. This one, whoops, hang on. The beauty of live. That's how they go. So this one's hat is, in case you want to do the two different styles, I'm going to teach you two different styles of hats, is you're just going to make that brim a rectangle brim. Move your brush from side to side, squaring up those corners and giving him a brim. Then you're just going to go in, and I like to keep the hat right here by the side of his head so that it looks like his head is sitting in that hat. And then give him a little bit of character on the hat, making the hat dip down a little bit to the center. And then making the other side of the hat. Now, if you would just leave that solid with no shading whatsoever, it looks kind of flat. So we're gonna go in to the white swan, to the little bit of white. And the highlight's on this side, so you wanna keep it on that side. So drag your white along the side like that. And then also drag your white on the top of the rim where the sun would be, the light would be hitting it. And leave that bottom shadowed. We're gonna make it just a bit more gray. If you get too gray, I might have gotten a little bit too gray, you can always take your black and darken it back up again. Then gives your hat just a little bit of shape. Now for this one's a little bit different. We're gonna go and make his hat just have a little bit more shape to it. So you actually go around and come back up. It's like this one's flat, this one's round. Go across. And I have to flip it around. And you're gonna make it round again on this side. The hat's gonna scoop up a little bit in the middle. Just like that. So it's got a little bit of a scoop on it right there. And then go up on the sides and scoop down. This will just give your little guy some character. This board is painted really dark gray. So we're gonna have to lighten this hat up just a bit. We're gonna go in with that white swan and really bring that hat out of the background. Don't be afraid of brush strokes. They're perfectly fine. Then this one is the same thing. Dragging some of that white along his hat. Along the brim of his hat. And then I'm gonna go back in with some black. I'm gonna wipe that gray off. I'm gonna go back in with the black. All right, there's the two different hats. Now we're gonna do some of the eyes and the buttons. So we're gonna go in with, oops, where can you see it? Right there, this little round brush right here. We're gonna go into the black, and this is the one who just has coal eyes. So you're just gonna come in and make some off circle eyeballs. My heater's gonna run, so hopefully that's not too loud. And then this one has the traditional rock mouth. And the traditional buttons down. Now we don't want them to be flat either. So we're gonna bring in some white paint. Highlighting one side of him. Now the other one has a little bit more detailed eyes. So we're gonna go in with a liner brush. It's just a small little liner brush. We're gonna draw some eyes on him. So you're gonna come in and just draw like a teardrop shape. Right, like that. Then draw him some eyeballs. Sometimes they look a little sad with them kind of eyes. And then I'm gonna go in with just a touch of white. Giving them a little shape. With that same liner brush, you're gonna draw that mouth. He's got a nice, fun little mouth, doesn't he? We need Summer Crush. We're gonna do his nose. Taking the Summer Crush out of your jar, just like we do everything else. You think that you might be wasting paint putting it on a palette, but you're really not. You're saving your entire jar of paint. That's what you're really doing. So, this carrot nose, it's a little on the big side. It's got a big old nose. So you're gonna make the letter C. Right, like that. Then pull that carrot you're gonna make swirly lines. It's not gonna be real straight. Carrots are never straight. And kind of tip that nose up a little bit. Like you want that nose to tip up. This one's the same thing, the letter C. It's kind of why I put the eyes in first, because I always want to see where this nose goes. Sometimes it'll go over top of your eyes, and that's okay. Then we need to give that nose a little depth, right? So we're gonna go in with a little white, highlighting the top of that nose. Blending those two colors together. Right like that. You can even go in with Fire Starter, which is a brighter orange. And brighten them up a bit. All right, how are they looking? So that's basically the snowman. You can make a ton of them looking just like that. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna add the fun stuff to them. We're gonna add a red scarf. This is Carnival Red. We're going to go back to a flat brush. We're going to go with this filbert brush. Going into a little bit of the red paint. Trying to stay under his neck, under his top ball, and really going onto the second ball, the second snowball, his body snowball, because your scarf goes under your neck. Sometimes it goes on your face, depending on how cold it is, right? It can go on your face. You're just gonna make a rectangle just like that. Then this piece of the scarf, it's the piece, you can go over the top of the scarf like that, but make sure you go back over it again so it looks like that piece is hanging from underneath. We're gonna go in with a little bit of black and darken this red up just slightly so that it gives a little bit of shadow in there. Okay. Then going back into the Carnival Red, we're gonna make this swoosh where it's coming over the top. Then I have to hit the white swan to highlight it. So we're gonna make kind of a pink and bring that up here. So it looks like that scarf is coming over the top. Oh, then we need the red band on his hat. You're just gonna go right in on his hat. You can turn your brush sideways if you need a straighter, thinner line. This brush might have been a touch too big for this. We're making it work. And then again, we don't want it flat. You're bad about that, Lisa? I finally see comments. You're not bad. All right, then we're gonna go in and give this red rim just a little bit of a highlight. Might have been too pink. It's only paint. So come right back in with the red. You love snowmen? Painting snowmen is so fun. They're the easiest thing to paint for real. Like that one could be done. You could leave it right like that. And actually, I did, except I have the little outline that I do on them that I'll show you that, but you can leave it just like that. And we're going to do a little bit of fun to this one. I want to give this one a scarf. Like he has all this greenery around him right there, but I really want him to have a scarf. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna give him a red scarf as well. So we're gonna go under his chin just like we did the last one. We're still gonna put some greenery on him, but maybe not as much, maybe just on one side. See how I'm giving that brush a headache? Pushing it down. You want to go back over it so that that goes under. And then this is going to go over the top. And then pick up a little white. And blend that right in. That scarf just comes right over the top when you do that. Okay, we have some greenery to do now. We need Monet's Garden. All of these are DIY paints. They can be found at thepaintedphotographer.com. They're clay-based. They're all natural. They don't stink. I use a ton of DIY paints for everything. All right, I'm going back in with my liner brush right here. We're gonna go ahead and do this one first. We're gonna make some greenery up here on his hat. So I need a smaller brush because it's a little bit more detailed work. So I'm gonna make like a holly leaf. And to make a holly leaf, it's C's. Right like that. You thought the greenery looked real? Excellent. I like that. Okay, we're gonna start at the top. Can you see me here? We're gonna start at the top and we're gonna make a C, a letter C. Then we're gonna make another letter C and another letter C. 3 C's connected together. Then you go on the other side and you make a letter C and a C, and then you bring that back down and make the point. Right like that. And I always fill them in with when I paint them, but I wanted you guys to be able to see that. And I need one more because I don't do anything in even numbers. There's always odd numbers. So we're gonna do a letter C, 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 and connecting them all together. Holly leaves. Now my holly leaves need a little dimension, going in with a little white on one side, the side that the light would be hitting this snowman. Always stay on the same side, don't move to the other side. So it's like you're filling in half of this holly leaf with a lighter green. Right like that. And then going and finding some red, we're gonna make the holly berries. So it's just a circle right over top of the connecting point there. And another circle, and another circle. Then using a little bit of the white, making a little highlight on them. Right there. This one is pretty much done. Now let's do this fun one. We need to go back in with the greenery. Thanks, Lisa. I'm gonna go back in with the greenery. And we're just gonna put a little bit of greenery right here. I guess I didn't give him a stripe on his hat. Silly me. Let's give him a stripe on his hat before we get that far. There he has a stripe on his hat. Okay, going in with some different type of greenery. So for this kind of greenery, it's like leaves and like pine branches in there, and then some holly berries. So this was definitely a holly berry leaf, and now this is different. So we're gonna go and just give them some right here in this area, like someone shoved some picks in there. So it's a line, line, line. You're just going and making some lines. This is with a liner brush. You can't go wrong, you can't mess it up. I'll show you how to fix it. So looks like he has a spider on his shoulder. Now, go to one of your lines and make a teardrop. And a teardrop, and a teardrop, all the way down. Then go into the white and the further you get down the stem, the darker that white is going to look. We'll do some more. We're gonna pick this branch, a teardrop. You can go over those branches you just put in. They're in the background. And now we're gonna go in with white, and we're gonna touch on that one, touch on that one. My white is starting to fade. Now we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do another one. Teardrop. You can see my teardrops are not even perfect. They're kind of all over the place. You don't need anything to be perfect for these. It's called coloring outside the lines. We're gonna pick some spots over here. I don't wanna get too much in his face. And down here on the bottom, going in with the white. He's got a little bit too much scarf showing, so I'm going to go in with just some squiggly lines. You're welcome, Janet. You like the second kind of greenery? I do too. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. This is brand new for me. I've never been live on YouTube. So hopefully it's going okay. Now we're gonna add a little bit of that greenery to his hat. I kind of want to balance him a little bit. He's got the big scarf there, he's got the leaf right here, and I want to balance him a little bit and put the greenery over on that side of his hat. So I'm gonna come in with a line, line, line. Just making a few lines, and then I'm gonna fill it in with some squiggles. Just let in your brush just make some squiggle marks, kind of like when you were a kid. Let it just go wherever it wants to go. And then we're gonna go in, we're gonna do that same leaf pattern down here. I feel so relaxed. This is an ASMR video. What's ASMR? It's great, no freezing. You're a natural. I feel like I'm talking. I am talking to you, Janet. Thanks, Lisa. All right. Teardrop shapes. Going down one of the stems. Go in with some white and go right over top of that teardrop, giving them a little depth. So you can see how all that squiggle mark just turned into, now it has a leaf form. I've never painted a picture in my life, and I'm going to rewatch this video and do it. Well, I hope so, because these snowmen are really easy. Painting is all about shapes, guys. It's just pick one shape and do that one shape, and then move on to the next shape. So I'm teaching you in teardrops and circles, in letter C's, because that's all it really is you're just finding out what it all looks like. And envision them shapes. So these are teardrops, and the teardrops are just making leaves, one teardrop at a time. And then the light and the dark colors, they make highlights and shadows, which gives it dimension. I need you too, Lisa. Excellent. You guys make me feel so good tonight. Bless your hearts. I didn't know if I should do this, but you're making me feel like this was a good choice. I just didn't have time to edit another video, so why not go live? All right, there is the greenery. I'm gonna wash my brush out. Fantabulous, love that word, Janet. I'm gonna wash my brush out. I'm gonna go in with some holly berries, because that's Christmassy, right? Gonna make some big old holly berries in this little bouquet pick that he has here. Sometimes the holly berries are way out there on the top. And then, of course, we need some up here. We could have probably used a different color for his scarf versus the red, but this one's got a lot of red. He's very holiday-ish. All right, a little white to highlight these holly berries. See how that, just that speck of white? There on his hat, he does not have the speck of white. On his scarf, he has a speck of white. Now, that was pretty easy, but it makes a huge difference. So you just go ahead and put a white speck in there. Just do the white speck, and he comes to life. Now, all we have to do is, they call them Connie lines. Can we get a close-up to see the details? Certainly, Tammy. There you go. This is the snowman with the greenery and the scarf, greenery on top. But he's got the old-fashioned coal for his eyes and his mouth. We're gonna do one more step to him, and then I'll show you after that. And then this is the not so old-fashioned snowman. He's got the teardrop eyes, the nice long carrot nose, and a nice smiley little mouth. And he's wearing just a scarf, and he's got the holly berries and the holly leaves in his hat. So to make Connie lines and to make the shapes all come together, you have to have your DIY paint. It's got to be a little bit watered down. So I go ahead and I take my watered down little black dress and I put my liner brush in it. And then I make squiggle lines around the outsides. I do not stay in the lines. I am not a stay in the lines kind of gal. And they kind of just turn into squiggles. So you do not have to do this step if you want. If you don't want, you can leave him just the way he is. So that's a little bit of the lining that I got on him. And then I'm going to go onto his head, being a little bit more careful on his head. And then his little carrot nose, I outline his little carrot nose and put a couple little lines on his nose. I even outline these little coal rocks, pebbles for his mouth and his eyes. I'm going around them just a little bit. Gives him a little bit of whimsy. For the greenery, I go around the holly berries. And then I also go around some of those leaves. I don't do them all. I just hit or miss some of them. And I'll give you a nice close-up as soon as I finish this bottom one, so you can see the difference between the one on his hat and the one right here. All right, so there's my lining on that one. And then on his hat, I didn't do the lines yet. And how you want to make the lines is you're going to have a really, really thin liner brush, very thin. You can get them at Michael's. Have some watered down paint and just freeform it. Don't be too tight with them, just really be quick. And the more you stay out of the lines, which sounds crazy, but the more out of the lines that you go, the more whimsical it would look. And then we're gonna just make some squiggle lines all over, giving him a little character. And then we're going to squiggle lines around his hat. And of course, you always need to sign it. There's the old-fashioned snowman. Now we're gonna do this one. Same thought process. Remember, this scarf went underneath that one, so you're gonna wanna make sure you draw that line under that one. And then this one went over, so make that nice long line over. Then we're gonna add just a little bit of character to this scarf with some stripes. Gives them some fun plaid. I love how you had an image in your head and you were able to show us that image during it. This is kind of amazing. Thank you, Janet. That's sweet. I don't ever know what I'm painting until it actually starts to come out on my paintbrush. Oh, we missed his buttons. We're gonna give him some coal button right there. This one, he really doesn't need to have lining on him. But that's kind of my signature. If you've seen me paint anything before, that's what people, as soon as they see my paintings, they're like, oh, that's Connie lines. I know who did that. I gave him a couple eyebrows there. Now we're gonna go in on his hat, trying to stay out of your way as much as I can. And here's the holly leaves. Remember, these were like cut down the middle for the shadowing. So all I do is just take my black paint and kind of cut them down the middle for the spline of the center of the leaf. I don't stay in the lines, in case you haven't noticed. I was never, applause, applause, applause. Thank you again. I learned so much. Good, Janet. I'm so glad. And this one, I'm going to sign him right there on the side of him. Sometimes I even go just a little bit sloppier with my lines. I don't know why. Just adds a little something to them. A little whimsy. You do love the outlines. Excellent. All right. That's it. That was my live for tonight. I will show you a close-up of this one. So in case you want to screenshot it and practice, that's what I would do. I would take a screenshot, and I'm giving you the opportunity to do that. And then I would try and paint it myself. Remember, it's just shapes. One shape at a time. And then there's this one. One shape at a time. This is the old-fashioned snowman. He's got kind of scary eyes. Let's fix them. I think they might need to be a little blacker. And maybe just a little bit of white here. Okay, that might have helped him a little bit. There, now he doesn't have such scary eyes. We don't need a snowman with scary eyes. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for you tonight. It was really fun to go live on YouTube. It was definitely different for me. If you liked this live, please subscribe, share, and like. And I'm gonna flip you back up before I go, if I can. So thank you so much for watching tonight and painting the snowman with me. I really do appreciate it. If you want any of these paints, please head on over to thepaintedphotographer.com. If you would like any of the Christmas items I showed you at the beginning of this video, they are also available on thepaintedphotographer.com. And until next time, happy painting, share, like, follow, do all those fun things, subscribe, and leave a note in the comments if you like this live video, because this was so much easier to do than an actual edited video. So I will still do my edited videos, but if you can learn how to paint something this quickly with me, saves me time. So until next time, got to get some new brushes with fine lines. Janet, there is a set of brushes that I have. You like it live? All right, Rose. There's a set of brushes that I found on Amazon. I'll put a link in there, and they're very inexpensive, and there's a lot of them. They're Rovee. Can't see it. Old eyes. Rovee Supplies. So right here, Rovee Supplies, and there's like a set of 25 brushes for very inexpensive, but I'll go ahead and I'll put the link in the comments. They're amazing and they're very inexpensive. So until next time, guys, happy painting.